Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sales Cloud Breakout. My name is Greg Gazelle. I've been at Salesforce for about 11 years in a variety of roles. I started in operations, I was a sales rep for a while, and now I'm on our Sales Cloud product team. So today, during the next 40 minutes, I want to tell you some updates about Sales Cloud, talk to you about all the latest innovations. We came out with the Dreamforce back in November. I want to give you a quick update on all of our products and our suite of apps. And then finally, I want to give you some best practices from my experiences and then some experiences of our customers as well, so you can all take something home with you back to your office and get more out of Salesforce in the future. During this session, please make any purchasing decisions based upon what's currently available. If you want to read this very long thing in detail, it's on our website. But I want to start by thanking you all. Thank you for joining us today, and thanking you for being part of our family, of our Salesforce Ohana. We love talking to our customers and listening to our customers. You'll inspire us to keep innovating. I had a customer meeting earlier today. We talked about our inbox product. They gave me some feedback. I've already passed that along to our product team so we can start to incorporate that. So we love hearing from you and building the products to make you successful. You know, a big part of my role here at Salesforce is coming to events like this and then talking to our customers. And we've noticed this new type of customer emerging amongst all of you. And we call them trailblazers. You've probably seen all the trailblazers around, the giant signs on the wall. But in my mind, a trailblazer is someone who's using technology and using Salesforce to really change their career, to change their company, to exceed their goals, and to ultimately change the industry that they're in. Trailblazers are uniquely equipped by using technology to embrace all of the changes that are happening in our industry and our society today. So how many of you were able to attend Parker's keynote earlier this morning? All right, good, a good amount of you. Parker talked about all these revolutions that we see as a company, because we have 150,000 customers across all different industries. So we can sit and we can listen and kind of observe these macroeconomic trends. And so we see all these giant revolutions. And the most important revolution for now is that we've gone beyond just computing. It's not just enough to have an app, to have something that's mobile first or mobile friendly. Now you need to start bringing intelligence into everything that you do. AI is the buzzword you hear, but AI is genuinely changing the way that companies and technology is going to work. And we're really in the middle of this fourth industrial revolution right now. And when I think about sales, sales has gone through similar revolutions. Sales has been around since the beginning of time, of people trading cattle and trading commodities way, way back in the early days. But sales really established itself as a profession in the early 1800s. And this is when people will go door to door with a buggy, actually selling goods and services that you couldn't get in the typical general store that you would see. And then sales really changed in the mid-1900s when inside sales or cold calling really became a big thing and became a career. You could sit there and dial for dollars going through your Rolodex, trying to drive people to buy things from your catalog. And technology transformed sales in the 90s when the first Salesforce automation system was created. Now salespeople can get at least a rudimentary understanding of who your customer was, when's the last time you called them, and maybe what they bought from you. Really just the basics. And sales is going to be totally transformed with this fourth industrial revolution, or intelligence. I've talked to a bunch of customers, and they said, are our salespeople going to be replaced by AI, by bots? And the answer is a resounding no. There is no person more uniquely situated to create a relationship, to build trust, and ultimately get that signature than a well-trained salesperson. What technology and artificial intelligence is going to do is really make your sales reps more productive and smarter than they ever have been before. It's going to enhance everything that your sales reps is doing, take all of those manual tasks off their plate so they can really focus on what matters most, and that's their customer. And this fourth revolution, focusing on this could not have become at a better time. It's critical because 80% of B2B buyers expect a B2C experience. So what does that actually mean? There's a lot of acronyms in there. What it means is we have these amazing experiences in our consumer lives. Look at Amazon. Amazon knows my buying history. It knows what I've looked at. It also knows I'm kind of geeky in my purchases, so it recommends all the new products and gadgets as I go onto the site today to do my Christmas shopping. It's a personal assistant for me as I do shopping, and I do it from any device. It's an amazing buying experience. It's so simple. B2B buyers expect that same experience. They expect sales reps to know what they're talking about, to build that trust and be proactive and helpful when they're actually going to buy a product. It's a critical transformation that all of your sales reps are going to be feeling in the future and probably are feeling right now. And Sales Cloud is uniquely positioned to help your sales reps deliver these amazing customer experiences. Sales Cloud is the world's #1 sales platform. It works by helping your sales reps transform and engage with your customers from the earliest moments of marketing to the actual sale, doing quoting, working through your channel, and then ultimately measuring all of your success. And it works so well because it's part of one single Salesforce platform. All of the apps and all of the products you're going to learn about from Salesforce today run on one single infrastructure. We update it 3 times a year. It's award-winning, it's best in class, so that you can know that we have your back and your technology is always going to work. And because we have this one platform, we're able to constantly deliver innovation. We just released our winter release with hundreds of new features that you're going to learn about in this presentation and here at Dreamforce. And we've been recognized in our industry and by the analysts for this innovation. Salesforce is the clear market leader, and we're not just the market leader by a little bit, we're the market leader by a mile, and we're growing consistently versus everyone else in our space. So today I want to again give you practical tips and some new features and new functionality that you can take advantage of to help your sales reps sell faster all the way from lead to cash. And we're going to talk about this in 3 main areas. We're going to start by how you can sell faster, how you can link your entire sales process together so your reps only have one place to log in and one single source of truth. Then we're going to talk about intelligence, and ultimately we're going to talk about how you can tailor Salesforce to sell exactly the way that you want to. But let's start with speed. Everyone wants to sell a little bit faster. And then when I started at Salesforce, we had one product. It was Salesforce Automation. It was accounts, contacts, and opportunities. It's our bread and butter. It's what we do really well. But over the last 11 years, we've greatly expanded. We have a full suite of applications now. And the real benefit of having all of these different apps is they work seamlessly together. They're all on the same platform. They're all fully integrated. So when you start that customer journey by marketing out to your prospects and you get that lead, it seamlessly comes into the system and then it's passed over to your sales rep. So they can work that lead, work that deal using normal Sales Cloud and Salesforce Automation. And then from there, they can actually do quoting and figure out the price in line on that opportunity. And then once they've got the quote, they can engage their channel, engage their partners to make sure you're closing that deal. And when you're done, you can measure success. You can figure out what you did right, where you can improve, and how you can continue to grow your business. All of this, again, is on one single platform. It's all fully integrated. So your sales rep logs into the morning to one place, into one system, and they have a view of their entire customer lifecycle. It's incredibly powerful. And the fact that all these apps work together really increases productivity and speed. So let's actually dive into this entire lifecycle a little bit. So it all starts with marketing automation. Everyone's out there doing marketing, trying to engage new leads, whether it's on social, whether it's on your website. And once you get that name in, Pardot is the way to nurture it. Pardot is marketing that sales reps love. What Pardot enables you to do is actually set up these nurture campaigns by your marketing team so they're pre-approved, they're right on brand, and they're very calculated. And then your sales reps can actually enroll their customers in these nurture journeys. For example, if a sales rep has a call, the person on the other, the prospect says, I'm not ready, talk to me in 6 months. This happens a lot, right? Now the sales rep can enroll that person in a nurture journey, so in 6 months, they're educated about the product, and now you can actually have a meaningful conversation and hopefully advance that deal. And Pardot just announced something for the marketers as well, so it's not just for sales reps. I started in marketing operations, and for the marketers in the room, there's this idea of first touch and last touch for a lead. And basically what it's saying is, what marketing campaign gets credit for that deal that ultimately closes? And it's actually really complicated. When I was an analyst, I had to write this big SQL program, and it definitely did not work. And so it was really painful. But we've built that functionality in out of the box. So I see a lot of people nodding along. Those are the marketers who have tried to do this in Excel before. Now you can do that with one seamless dashboard right inside of Pardot. So once you've nurtured your lead, you've got them interested, you pass that lead along to your sales rep. You convert it, you flip it over. And using Sales Cloud, you can work all of your leads. How many of you are Sales Cloud customers in the room? I would guess a pretty good amount of you. So you know what I'm talking about here. Your reps are in there using Salesforce every day. So I just want to tell you about one new feature, and we'll see a demo of it in a minute. It's called macros. Macros is awesome. And so when I first heard about these macros, I thought of Excel and how you got to like program a macro. It worked sometimes, it didn't work other times. Very painful. With macros inside of Sales Cloud, your reps can actually automate all the manual tasks that they do every day. For example, if you're a rep and you make a call, hang up the phone, what do you have to do? You have to close out that task. You have to update your next steps. You have to log a follow-up, and you have to send that contact an email. 4 steps. It could take 5 minutes of your day to actually just do those steps. Now with macros, you push one button, and it automatically happens for you. And every sales rep could set these things up with point and click on their own. It's incredibly powerful. It's going to save all of your users hours per week. I'm not joking about that. Hours and hours of creating these manual tasks. Okay, so we've worked our deal. Now, when you get to the final stages of the deal, the most important part is figuring out the price. When I was a rep, I spent a ton of time in Excel and in spreadsheets actually figuring out what the pricing was, only to send it off and figure out the discounting wasn't right and have it kicked back, and all of a sudden we lost a week in our deal. Now it's at risk. With Salesforce Epq, you can do pricing, configuration, and quoting all seamlessly. It lives on the opportunity. So you're not waiting until the end of that deal cycle to figure out the price. It's there all the way through, so you know what you need to do in order to get the right approval to make sure that your sales reps don't have a problem that affects that deal and ultimately affects your customer. It all lives right on the opportunity, right inside of Salesforce. So now we've worked our deal, we marketed to them, we worked the deal, we got the quote. Sometimes you need to bring third parties in as well. How many of you sell through a channel? A decent number of you, okay, about a couple people over here. Channels is a great way to expand your business, to get into new markets or work through resellers. Sales Cloud PRM allows you to pass all of your CRM information out to your partners. Now your partners and the salespeople who don't work for you get the same technology and the same benefits as all of your best sales reps. You can extend out quoting. You can extend out all the CRM functionality. And we just launched marketing here. It's in the press release went out today. So now your partners have marketing tools that they can use to engage with their customers so that every partner now becomes a channel marketer. It's incredibly powerful. And it's a great way to make sure you're continuing your deals and growing your markets. So again, we started with our lead. We nurtured it. We worked it. We did pricing. We sent it out to our partners. What's left? Hopefully closing the deal. But more importantly, you need to make sure you're measuring what you did right and what you did wrong. Sales Analytics is the best analytics tool for Salesforce customers. It's built right on the platform, and it comes with pre-done reports that work out of the box. Things like opportunity trending, so I know whether my pipeline is growing or shrinking and how I can fix that. It also has built-in white space, so I know what products I should be selling to what customers. It tells my reps what they should be doing next. All of these apps are seamlessly integrated on the Salesforce platform. So let's actually see what this looks like. I'm really happy to welcome up Laura Fagan to give us a quick demonstration of the full Lead to Cash platform.
Awesome.
Laura?
Thank you, Greg. Hello, everybody. Former New Yorker here. I'm so glad to be back. It still feels like home. I love New York so much. When I lived in New York, I actually wasn't in marketing at the time. I was a journalist. And that meant that I interviewed tons of people, and I asked lots of questions. And I have one big question for everyone who is here in the room today. What would you do if you had an extra hour every single day? A lot of you are salespeople, so maybe you would close more deals. For purposes of being in the New York area, maybe this is the year that you're finally going to train for the marathon. Or maybe you would spend more time with your family. Well, I'm here today to tell you how you can save that hour every single day with Sales Cloud and with the Lightning experience. And I'm going to do that by playing the part of a sales rep. And my day starts every day here in Salesforce on the Lightning Sales Console. And I have this giant list of leads that I could potentially call. But how do I know which lead is a good lead and which leads might be a little bit of a waste of my time? Eleanor Stroman, she sounds nice, that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to pay off and be closed business. That's like the spring when you go to fill out your March Madness bracket, and you pick your teams based on who has the coolest uniforms or the toughest mascot. You might win your office pool, but the odds are not likely. But fortunately, my inside sales team now has Einstein. And what Einstein does is he uses machine learning to dynamically score each lead. And he does this based on factors that matter to my company, like the job title of the lead, or where the lead is located, or maybe the industry that they're in, even if they came to event. And this isn't that typical maybe lead scoring technology that you might be familiar with where someone has to program it. This is Einstein doing this every hour so you know which leads are your hottest. So I know Einstein has my back. I'm going to take my top 20 leads, and I'm going to create a call list. And I'm going to do this with Lightning Dialer. And my first list, my first lead, my hottest lead there is Peggy Lore. I can click on her name, and I can see right on one screen everything that I need to know about Peggy. When I'm on the phone with her, I'm not going to have to switch back and forth to find out information. And I can even see some cool stuff, like she recently visited our website, so she's probably interested, and she even went to a webinar. And when I go to pick up the phone to call Peggy, I actually do not have to pick up the phone. I can click on her number right here in Lightning Dialer and call her right from Sales Cloud. So the phone rings, and what do you think happens? I'm in inside sales. I get Peggy's voicemail. That happens a lot, but not a problem. In the old days, I would have to listen to Peggy's message, and then I'd have to wait, and then I'd be on her voicemail, and I'd try to leave a professional-sounding and enticing voicemail to hopefully get Peggy to call me back, and that takes a lot of time. I talked to a customer on Tuesday, and their inside sales reps do between 100 and 120 calls a day. Imagine if you have to record 50 voicemails. It's a huge amount of time. But now I have voicemail drop. So I can just click a button, and I can drop a pre-recorded on-message in-context voicemail for Peggy. And the best part of all of this is that the call is automatically logged. All right, time to move on to my next call. Not a problem. I can stay right here. All I have to do is click on Dee Hadley. So I give Dee a call, and this is awesome because Dee picks up the phone. We have a great conversation, and it turns out the technology that my company offers is a great fit for helping her out in her job and a pain point that her company is having. I hang up the phone with Dee. My work is not done. Greg talked about the new macros feature. Before that came along, I would have to spend all this time doing up all of these follow-up tasks. But now I have the macros feature, so all I have to do is click on it, and it'll automatically log the call, send Dee an email, and even schedule a follow-up for me. It takes 1 second to do that. So these are just a couple of examples of how Sales Cloud and the Lightning experience can save sales reps an hour every single day. And if I had actually run a timer during this demo, you would see that we just saved the reps actually more than an hour, something like 65 minutes. It's really amazing. So no excuses for all of you here today. It's time to train for the marathon, and it's time to make the switch to Lightning experience. Back to you, Greg.
Great, thanks, Laura, and thanks to Mike back there in the demo booth next to Astro Frosty in the wall. So let's switch a little bit and talk about intelligence. I told you the macros were awesome. Einstein is going to be even more awesome, if that's even possible. So we launched Einstein at Dreamforce last year. We've had this technology for 1 year now. And so what is Einstein? Einstein is AI done the Salesforce way. It's intelligence built right into your CRM. AI is a buzzword. People are hiring data scientists. It's one of those things where you read a lot of articles about everyone should go, if you're in college, you should be studying data scientists. It's the way of the future. It's great. There's a lot of investment across all these technologies and industries in data science. But that sounds really hard. We wanted to make it easy. So Einstein is built right into the Salesforce platform, and it just works. You turn it on, and it looks at all of the data inside of your CRM, all the data that your reps have been entering, all the opportunities your reps have been working. It looks at that and identifies patterns and trends and makes recommendations. So over the last year, we've released a number of features inside of Einstein to help you sell smarter. The first one is activity capture. Einstein Activity Capture automatically ingests all of the email from Outlook or for Gmail, and then associates it to the appropriate account, contact, lead, and opportunity record. Think of all of the time that your reps are going to save when they don't have to log their emails. Any one of you who has sales reps or is in sales ops has definitely yelled at a sales rep in the last week about you need to log your activities, you need to log your activities. It's a common trend we hear all the time amongst people who are using Salesforce, and any CRM really. It's always about getting the data into the system. And Einstein Activity Capture takes that off your plate. It does it for you. And again, it's intelligently associating them so they get to the right record and the right contact every time. And so once we get the data in the system, that's when Einstein can actually start doing interesting things with it. And the first thing that we're doing is scoring it. You saw this in the demo. With lead and opportunity scoring, we're looking at what has been successful inside of your company. How have you seen success over the last 12 or 18 months? We measure that, and we assign a score based upon the factors, again, inside of your organization that led to a lead successfully converting or an opportunity successfully closing. So the score is great. It tells you where to start. It gives you some general guidance. But what if the score is bad? You can't just throw those opportunities away. What if it's trending down? You're not just going to give up on it. It's hard to make your numbers a sales rep. You need every at-bat. And so with Opportunity Insights, Einstein is actually going to make recommendations for you based upon things that it has seen inside of your organization that have led to success in the past. So if that score on opportunities is trending down, it's going to help you get back on track. It's incredibly powerful. It's like a sales manager coaching your reps in line, in real time, every time an opportunity gets updated. And again, it just works. All you have to do is turn it on, and Einstein learns from everything going on inside of your organization. So I want to introduce two new things that we've just launched inside of Einstein. The first is email insights. So if you're like me, I wake up in the morning, and I have the little red bubble on my iPhone is probably in triple digits. I have 75 or 100 emails because my team is all over the country. So I have all these emails to go through. So how do you start? How do you prioritize your day? Starting chronologically, it may work, it may not. So Einstein Email Insights uses natural language processing to scan through your emails and flag emails that have important phrases in them. Things like pricing, new decision makers involved, an executive is mentioned. They want to schedule a meeting. Einstein flags these. So now instead of reading through 100 emails to get to the good ones, I could start with the most important 3 first. This works on your mobile device, works on your desktop. So now you can start to get a hold of all of those emails that are coming in. And the next big announcement for Einstein is Einstein Forecasting. Einstein Forecasting is truly going to change the way that sales managers work. It's going to get rid of sandbagging. I'm personally giving you this promise that you will know exactly where you're going to end up at the end of every month at the beginning of the month. So 4 or 5 days in, Einstein Forecasting can predict with a high degree of certainty where you're going to end up at the end of the month. And that's next to impossible as a sales manager, just relying on your reps updating their opportunities and your forecasting calls. If you can get that right on the 5th of the month at the end within 5 degrees of accuracy, you should be promoted right now. There's no question. And now Einstein is going to deliver that to you by, again, using machine learning to analyze what's going on inside of your instance of Salesforce. It's game-changing technology. So let's take a look at Einstein Forecasting, because seeing it is believing it. So Laura, why don't you give us another demo?
Awesome. So when I was up here last time, I played the part of a sales rep, but this time I'm going to play the part of a sales manager named Scott. And being a sales manager is a great job, but it's also one of the hardest jobs in sales because you have so much stuff on your plate. You have to hire salespeople and train them and retain them. You have to help close deals. You have to create executive relationships. And maybe one of the most important part of the jobs is you have to be able to know your business and report those numbers up to sales leaders so that they can make smart decisions and important decisions around your organization. And that last one's hard for me as Scott because I have reps on both ends of the spectrum. So I have the sandbaggers, like Greg just talked about, and on the other side, I have some reps that are a little overeager. So pipeline can seem a little murky. But fortunately, I now have Einstein Forecasting. So when I open up Salesforce multiple times a day, I can see my forecast right there on the home screen. And this month, December, my quota, or our quota, is $10 million. And when I open it up this time, I'm having a big uh-oh moment because I'm seeing that Einstein's predicting that we're going to miss quota by $1 million. Bad news. This is not good tidings or warm, fuzzy holiday feeling. I don't want this to happen. So I'm going to click on the Forecast tab and see what I can see as far as what's going on. And I can actually see side by side what my reps are predicting is going to close and what Einstein's predicting. And Einstein's not making this stuff up. I can also see that he's pretty sure we're going to miss by $1 million within that 5% degree of accuracy. And I don't have to read his mind. I can see this waterfall chart here on the right side of the screen to see what's going on. So we have 1.3 million that's already closed. It's great. Another 8 million or so in our pipeline that Einstein's pretty sure is going to close. There's another million on top of that that's actually not in our pipeline, but based on historical data, Einstein is predicting that that will close. That's great news. But here's the problem. Here in red, that 1.5 million that Einstein says is not going to close. So I'll take a look at my opportunity list for this month to see what else I can find out here. Sustainable energy, right there at the top. That's our biggest deal. It's a $1.5 million deal, and the opportunity score is 50. Like, I want this to be close to 100. And Einstein's showing me that the amount has changed. I'll click on the opportunity record and see what else Einstein's going to tell me about this. And what has actually happened is sustainable energy has a new CIO, and she's reduced the phase 1 deal from 1.5 million down to 400,000. Yikes. I definitely don't want that to happen. What else can Einstein give me? I need help with this. Well, it turns out that Einstein has conceded that Mike Simpson, he's a sales leader at our company. They call him the closer. He's always happy to help out on a deal. And Mike actually knows the new CIO, Daniela. So I'm going to send Mike an urgent message. Mike, I need your help. You got to talk to Daniela. We got to get this deal back on track. Mike is more than happy to help out. He reaches out to Daniela, and we get phase 1 back up to 1.5 million. That's amazing news. I'm going to have very, very happy holidays now. And what's really cool about this is that with Einstein Forecasting, I went from seeing a problem, finding out what the problem was, and then getting help on solving the problem in our pipeline and getting everything back on track. You can see how Einstein Forecasting, combined with human intuition and the sales experience of our sales leaders, is a game changer for your business. Thank you very much. Back to you, Greg.
Great, thanks, Laura. And again, thanks, Mike. Isn't that awesome? It's really bringing artificial intelligence to life. And again, it just works. It's built right into Salesforce. So let's talk a little bit about how you can customize Salesforce. So every one of our customers, everyone in the room uses Salesforce a little bit differently. And even if you're in the same industry as the person sitting next to you, you're probably going to go to market in a different way. You care about different metrics. You care about different ways that you can work with your customers. And so it's critical that you are able to customize Salesforce to fit your business process and not the other way around. And it all starts with Lightning. Lightning is our user experience that we launched 2 years ago. And Lightning is changing the way that you're able to sell. We've launched over 700 new features that are available in Lightning. Some of my favorite ones are the Kanban, which allows you to drag opportunities to update your forecast, or Lightning for Gmail. We launched a new Google partnership a couple of weeks ago. And so now with Lightning for Gmail, you get all of your CRM inside of Gmail. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful. And our customers who have switched over to Lightning are seeing a tremendous uplift and tremendous success. Aspect is seeing a 25% increase in close rate. Tough Shed makes these really cool custom sheds for your backyard. They saw a 50% increase in sales activity. And Seagate, the technology company we all heard of before, saw a 25% increase in overall efficiency moving to the Lightning experience. And we are here to help all of you make the switch to Lightning. We have the Lightning booth here at the World Tour. We also have a readiness check. So go ask your admin. All they have to do is log into Salesforce, and you get a full assessment as to whether you're ready to make your switch and how to get there. You can also go on Trailhead. We have 40 modules dedicated to Lightning. And it's all available on salesforce.com/lightning, so you can learn everything you need to actually go in and make the switch. And the thing I love the most about Lightning is that it's a component-based user interface. And so what does that mean? You've always been able to customize the look and feel of Salesforce. We launched Visualforce in my second or third Dreamforce, so you could go in and code whatever you wanted to and make Salesforce look however you wanted to. But again, you had to code. You had to go in and actually write all of the Apex and the Visualforce to make it look like that. Now with Lightning, it's declarative. It's drag and drop. We have over 20 components that are available out of the box, hundreds on our App Exchange, and then you could create your own custom components and just drag them in there. And because of this component-based architecture, we were able to launch a feature that our customers have been asking for years, and that's dynamic components. So the page of Salesforce can actually change based upon the data that's on there. For example, say you're on an opportunity and it's above $100,000. It's a really big opportunity for my organization. A custom component can appear that's offering additional resources and executive alignment. Or if I'm on my account page, and maybe this account has gone from green overall satisfaction to yellow. Again, a component appears, and now we can see all their customer support cases and what knowledge-based articles we want to push out. The page changes based upon the use case. It's incredibly powerful. And all of this is also available on mobile. Salesforce Mobile, formerly Salesforce One, we changed it a couple weeks ago, so you got a new app, new little logo on your phone. It's the world's leading mobile application. It's all your CRM, it's all your data, it's all your customizations on any mobile device. And you can extend Salesforce with our App Exchange. Hopefully you can all go and check out the Expo Hall and all of our different partners out there. We have over 5,000 apps on the App Exchange that have been installed 5 million times. Things like Exactly for incentive compensation management, DocuSign, which helps you get those electronic signatures. But my favorite ones are the Labs apps. These are the ones that are created by Salesforce employees, and they're free. I always tell people to download the adoption dashboards. Again, it's one click to install these things. And then you can measure how your users are actually using the system and making sure you're getting everything out of it. So now I want to tell you about a customer. I want to tell you about Comscore. Comscore is an online advertising platform. They're able to measure and run analytics on advertising across all different channels. Say you're a brand and you want to run an ad campaign targeting women ages 18 to 35. Comscore can help you find the channels and then measure the effectiveness of social, online, mobile, web, every different place, TV, all the different places your ad is going to run. Comscore knows how effective it is. So I'm really happy to welcome Lee Wright, who's the VP of Sales Operations, to join us today. Lee, welcome.
Thanks, Rick.
So Lee, tell me a little bit about your role at Comscore.
Sure. So I'm the VP of Global Sales Operations. And so at Sales, I have responsibility for Salesforce, reporting, metrics, onboarding, education, sort of all of the blocking and tackling behind sales.
Oh, great. So when you came to Comscore, how did you figure out what to do first? How did you know how to be effective?
Sure. So we had 5 major business lines. So I interviewed the EVPs for each of those business lines and asked them 3 questions. How do you forecast? How do you train new people? And what's your biggest headache? And it was funny that, of course, everyone said their biggest headache was Salesforce. But so I dug into that. Right.
Hey, come on.
I know. So I dug into that. It wasn't actually Salesforce. It was actually the quote-to-cash process. So as they got into that quote-to-cash process, we were getting jammed up with pricing, with approvals, with contracts, with legal, you name it. That's sort of where the issue was. So we really dug in and decided, OK, that's where we wanted to focus our time and energy and really attack that with Salesforce Epq.
Excellent. So you rolled out Epq. So how else are you using Salesforce at Comscore?
Yeah, so we have Salesforce Epq, we have Sales Cloud, and we also have the communities.
Oh, excellent. So you're an experienced Salesforce, or you're very experienced in Salesforce. You've used that at a couple companies. What advice can you give to the audience today that you've learned over the years using Salesforce?
Yeah, so a couple things. One, think about Salesforce as not just a database and a UI. Think about it as a platform that you can do other things. And I look at organizations, or I talk to other people in sales operations, I think one of the big things they neglect is when you roll out Salesforce or even CPQ, don't think about what you're doing now and replicating that. Take the opportunity to be the company you want to be, right? What's the process we want to go to? Don't just replicate what you have. The other thing is make everything you're doing actionable. There's nothing worse than going to Salesforce, and I get this from reps all the time, is all it does is eat, right? All it does is take data from me. one of the things we try and do is make sure that everything that we're doing when sales reps go in there is it's actionable. So whether it's a dashboard or a report, what they're looking at requires them to then go and do something. So we created My Dashboards. So when a rep goes into it, it shows them all the information that they need to update, whether it's their leads that came in, their opportunities that are behind, their things that are in deal desk that they need to address. And it's the same thing for their managers, so everybody can see all of their data easily.
That's great. So you rolled out these dashboards for reps and for managers. You also looked at forecasting. So tell me a little bit about how you forecast and how you made that easy.
Sure. So one of the things to drive adoption, we really wanted to have everyone in Salesforce having the conversation on the data. So driving their pipeline calls out of Salesforce. So we boiled it down to one field on every opportunity.
One field.
One field. It's really hard for reps to say, oh, I can't forecast when it's one field. So they have to update one field, which then drives up to all of the VP, SVP, and so on's reports. And then we baked in everybody's goals. So now you can actually see against their goals, how are they forecasting? And it really drives the conversations, makes it easy, and we run all of our pipeline calls, again, right out of Salesforce, which if you think about what that does, no one wants to sit on a pipeline call and have to explain why is there a gap, why isn't that there, why is that not, why is that wrong, right? It happens once, and everybody gets it.
That's really interesting. So how did you get executive alignment on that as well? Did that come from the top, or was it just kind of bottoms up?
Yeah, it was both. Once we showed everybody how easy it actually can be to go in and adjust it, and then baking in the goals, that's really what drove the executive alignment, because now you have a dashboard and it goes out 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to the executive team and shows, here's what we're doing. And then also running the pipeline calls right out of Salesforce. Again, the execs now are very interested in saying, okay, where are we? Where are we in the quarter? Where are we for next quarter? If there's a problem, now we can all see it. We can start adjusting resources to go and address that. But that's really what drove the executive adoption. And once you have that, that's going to permeate on down and get the sort of baseline reps involved.
That's great. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. All right, so I love that story. You know, like Lee said, think about how is your process right, and then build that into Salesforce. Use the technology to enhance what you're doing. So we went through a lot today. The learning doesn't have to stop here. Go check out trailhead.com. It's our online learning platform. And if you don't want to remember trailhead.com, the website, you can just text right now, Sales Trail, to 38767, and I will send you trails for everything that we talked about today and more follow-ups from the keynote. And so I often get asked about best practices. So Trailhead has best practices about how to set up the application. But for sales managers and sales reps, people in sales ops, you have to want to learn from your peers. So we created Quotable. Quotable is our online sales magazine, and it's all contributors who are actual practitioners. It's people who are sales managers, sales reps. Some of the articles on there are how to hire, how to build an inside sales team, what are the 5 traits you should be looking for in a sales rep. It's great articles and great content, and if anyone wants to write, if you think you're an expert, just let me know. And so finally, we'd love to get your feedback. We'd love to know how awesome Laura's demo was. So please head over to the registration desk at some point today and fill out a survey, and you get a free collectible pin. They're very, very cool. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of the world tour.